as managers, you're not responsible for the emotional well-being of your staff. You're not. But you do contribute to it, and you do need to help them to become more mature. So, I've always said you learn a lot about how to treat your managers by the way that you treat your children. And it works the other way around as well. You learn how to treat your subordinates through how you treat your children. Treat them well, they will respond well. Treat them badly, they will respond badly. So, all of these difficult stakeholders, what they want is your attention, your commitment, your respect, your loyalty, your commitment to them as your leaders, that you will do a good job. As children, when you're small, 2, 3, what do you think about your parents? I'm hoping Malaysia is like the Western world in this. 2, 3-year-old, mommy and daddy can do anything, right? You love your parents. When you get to 10, 11, 12, what do you think about your parents?
Say no to everything.
They always say no. It's unreasonable. They're difficult. How can they be so stupid? You may not tell them that to their face, but to your friends, how can they be so stupid? It takes, once you get to around 20, 25, you suddenly start realizing that they've learned a lot in the last few years. They're not quite as stupid as they once were. The way that they grow, why do they change from thinking you can do anything to that point where they think you're stupid and understand? What causes it? The good news here, it's not you, because if it was you, then your children would be the only ones that went through this process. Why do they all seem to go through this process? I missed that.
It's like hormones.
Hormones.
What kind of project management? How brings the hormone? He needs attention.
Why does this happen? It's completely normal. Every generation, every culture, it's a life cycle. Everybody goes through the process. And the process that we go through is one of complete dependence on somebody else through to one where we're trying to establish our own independence and our own ability to do things. So, as small children, we are completely dependent. We are what's called unconsciously incompetent. We can't do anything for ourselves, but we don't know that we can't do it, so we don't really mind. You don't know how to eat, you don't know how to sleep, you don't know. You don't know how to drive a car, you don't know how to manage a project, but you don't know it, so you don't care. However, as you start growing up, you suddenly start realizing that there are things that you cannot do. You become consciously incompetent. You start thinking about it and you realize you can't do it. Now, this is a frightening moment for many people. Suddenly you realize, I don't know how to do that. And you have a choice that you have to make at this point. You either learn or you give up. You say, well, I can't do it, I will never be able to do it, woe is me, and you never learn to do it. I've got a person who now, family friend, at the age of 85, has at last gotten into her head that maybe she can drive. She's now going to lessons. But for 60 years, I can't drive. I will never be able to drive. Now, unfortunately, at the age of 85, that's probably true. But she's decided she wants to learn. So, conscious incompetence. You're aware of the fact that you can't do something. So you ever read a book called The Peter Principle? Okay. Ever heard of the Peter Principle? Peter was an educator in the UK in the 1960s. He wrote a book in which he said, we all rise to our highest level of incompetence. Basically, once you get to the top of your promotion, your career path, you're incompetent. Think about it. You're good at doing what you do. You get tired, and people feel that. What happens? You get promoted. The next level up, you're good at what you do. What happens? You get promoted. As long as you keep performing, you're doing the work that you're hired to, that you're promoted to do, you keep on getting better. The problem is, one day you get to a level where you have to work and you can no longer do the work. Now what happens to you?
Anchor yourself.
You anchor yourself. You can't go any higher because you're not competent, you can't do the work, you're not going to get any further promotion. But at the same time, you're not going to demote yourself either, are you? Well, a few people do. Bill Gates, have you heard of him?
Paul Gates.
CEO of Microsoft Corporation demoted himself. I don't want to do this job anymore, I want to do what I'm good at doing. He became a great software architect. That was his official title. But the majority of people, you won't demote yourself. So now you end up sitting out the rest of your career in a job that you can't do, that you don't like doing. That's when you become one of these difficult stakeholders. If you can't do the work anymore, not the only reason, but a lot of them will find this is their problem. When you can't do the work anymore, you also can't admit to people that you can't do the work. We identified that somewhere, those they know that they do. They're out of their depth. So what do they resort to? Policy. The handbook says, company secrets that, bureaucracy says that. That's the way we've always done it. Ever heard these statements?
Yes.
Ever made these statements? Very often it's a sign that you've lost the ability to think creatively. Those of you that heard the keynote speaker at the Congress on Monday, anyone there? The things that he was saying about creativity and thinking differently, worthwhile. For those of you that didn't hear it, did you see all those hands? Networking time, I'm going to find them and find out what this guy said, which is so powerful. We need to make sure that we stay at a point where we are competent. So we've moved from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. You now have to make a decision. You either stay at that level where you are incompetent at what you do, or